Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Drink Talk Rock. And if you're sitting here listening, you may be wondering, what is this show about? I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but kind of not. The big thing we want to do is we want to promote local businesses. We want to promote local artists, whether that be through music or through art, like painting or things like that. And we also want to highlight local breweries that make their own beers. I've always kind of been a big beer lover, and I thought, well, why not make a show about it? So today we'll have neither. Today we're having coffee. And if I seem like I'm shaking, it's for a reason in here. But anyways, like I said, the show's called Drink Talk Rock, and we're gonna have the best of local bands to come in and play music, and you know, when this is all kind of put together a little bit better, there'll be a music jam session room where people can play and kind of share what they've got going on, because I'm a musician and my wife's a musician, and I know how important it is to have people out there that kind of show what you do. You know, it means a lot whenever somebody can just tell somebody else about what you're doing. And we have a whole bunch of great friends that play music that have been playing in the bars that we've been playing in for so long. And maybe some out-of-towners that are still kind of small and just up and coming. I'll give an example right now. We just went and saw Tora Tora in Memphis at Minglewood Hall. Thank you, Aunt Coco and Uncle Eddie, for the tickets. We had a great time. But the opener there was a band called Dirty Streets, and I'm trying to get in contact with them because I would love to just play some of their music on the air that they've got, because they have a really fantastic like blues sound that's got kind of a new age era in it, and it's really I think they could definitely be something. I've had a couple of their songs stuck in my head ever since the concert, and they're still in there. So, anyways, but you know, that's the main point of it. We're musicians. We want to promote musicians, but then we got to thinking, well, why just keep it in one box? Why just keep it with the music? Because we do know, and I'll give a shout out to Amy at Wages Brewery up in West Plains, Missouri. She makes some fantastic beers. I mean, she makes ones with flavors. There was a blueberry one that I tried, and it was just amazing, but I don't know how many people know about that stuff. And so we just want to put a platform to help them advertise what they've got going on, and we're going to mix in a lot of other stuff too. Like I said, if you're somebody who has a small business and you want some advertisement, if there's anybody that's watching, it could help push a business to the next level. So that's definitely something that we want to get into. I want to also kind of apologize in advance. This is the first time I've done anything like this. First time that I've ever done the podcast thing. I've been thinking about it for a year, but it's like I've never just kind of jumped onto it and tried it. And just recently we got super serious about, we want to put something out, and we were going to wait until we got a more kind of polished setup. I know this is a little unorthodox with us, just a mic going on Facebook Live. And it's strange, it's low budget, but you know what? We're jumping in head first, and hopefully with more episodes we can get a little bit better at it. But once again, we want people to play music on here. We want to hear about it, and for filler and stuff, I'll be sure to keep y'all updated on all the latest rock news that's happening. Stories of the day and things like that. Just anything to promote rock and roll music or just music in general, I think is really important. So today's episode will be a little bit shorter than probably the other ones will. A couple of reasons for that. One, the phone battery is only about 20%, so we're going to have to see how long that's going to last. But I will be on here for a little while, and like I said, there's going to be an edited version of this available tomorrow. We're going to upload on Facebook and a couple of podcast sites, and we'll be sharing the links on there for you. But we want you to tune into what we got going on, because I think it's really, really important what this show is eventually going to be about. Right now, it's just me babbling, so that's kind of how that goes. And I'm sure it's going to start slow, but I'm super interested in where it goes and how it grows, and the interesting people that I think we can get on here that want to share their talents or their arts, their crafts, or their hometown careers. And however that may go is how that may go. But like I said, this is the first episode, so it's a little. I'm stammering, I'm stuttering, I'm cold, and I'm caffeinated. All of those things, a combination to kind of make it difficult to speak. But like I said, we just wanted to jump in head first. So to get to the point of the day, I wanted to talk about music a little bit. I want to talk about music a lot because I was reading. I'm always Googling articles. I'm sure we're all kind of on our phone, just scrolling, checking the thing. But there is a constant conversation going on about rock music, and I think the conversation is pretty much the same anytime you've got half of the population saying that there's no way that rock could make any kind of a revival, that it's kind of dying out. But then you check online, and there's dozens and dozens of fantastic rock artists out there that are making music, and I wanted to talk about kind of how the format has changed on that a little bit. Now this is just me telling you things that I've read. I'm not a huge touring musician. You can see, very low budget. We're a local band. We've played a few bars here and there. We've been lucky to play a couple of really nice venues. We got to accompany a band at the High Tone. And we've done a couple things, but I don't claim to know. This is my opinion on it, and the things that I've read about it. So, the state of rock music. I think that rock music is really still prominent. I think the format and the way you have to make money at it are a lot different. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I think that when you are a, let's say, international pop artist or something like that, there's a lot of ways to market your music. There's a lot of people kind of rooting for you. Whereas rock music, we don't have the radio play. And I don't, as long as I can remember, we've never really had mainstream radio play as far as rock music goes. It's pretty much the classic rock. It's pretty much... it's the oldies. It's you're going to hear, you turn on the radio, you're going to hear Leonard Skinner, you're going to hear Van Halen, you're going to hear, great artists, but there's not a ton. Like I was listening to the Eddie Trunk podcast, and he said, shout out to Eddie Trunk. I love him. He's one of my inspirations for doing this. But he was saying that in New York City, in the middle of it, that there's only one rock station. And New York City is an enormous place. It's got millions of people in it, and yet when you go on the radio, unless you're going to, a lot of people have Sirius XM, Octane Radio, or maybe you get it from your cable provider or satellite provider, or maybe you listen to it on Pandora, where you can kind of locate what you're looking for a little bit better. But as far as the mainstream radio, what you hear going down the road, he made a point that there's only one rock station. Now here in Ther, Missouri, there's three what I'll call oldies rock stations. They play classic rock. They every once in a while, I don't want to mention the wrong radio station and have. I think it's 93.9, or maybe it's 96.9. But anyways, late at night, you might hear some more heavy rock, some more metal acts, and things like that. But as a whole, I think that a lot of it is just classic rock. And I love jamming out to it. That's not it. But the point is that rock musicians have to make their money elsewhere. It can't be off of radio plays. I mean, yes, like I said, on those streaming services, I think rock still makes a ton of money doing that. I just don't think that mainstream radio is a way, or has ever been a way, for rock music to really jump to the forefront. I think Led Zeppelin was on their second or third album before they really got constant radio play. And a lot of bands were like that, and some of them will never go to the Hall of Fame, never do anything. They're cult classic bands that people have collected their records, when records were really, really important. Now I think rock artists have to make their money off of touring. I think that's 90% of it, and even then they lose their ass constantly. At least that's what I read about. They might make $1 million and then they walk away with $250,000 of it, which, hey, I would love $250,000 to just hang around in. But you see what I mean? I mean, T-shirt sales are really important with them, even with the big bands. I didn't know if I was going to mention them on the first episode. They are my favorite band. They're my wife's favorite band. But Alter Bridge, they make all their money off T-shirts and other things. They do these. They teach people guitar. Mark Tremonti, the lead guitarist, he does a guitar class before the show. It's like $300, and you sit down and you have lessons. I've always wanted to go to one, but I've heard they're really, really great and pretty informative. But they're resulting to that. Now by all means, it's in a positive way that will help somebody learn the guitar, and I'm all for it. But it's also a money making thing. Obviously, it's $300 that you're putting down to do it, to meet one of the great guitarists. But that adds up. You put 50 people in a class, that's going to add to what you're doing. But my point is that there's different venues and different ways that they have to make their money now. So I think that that rock music is not a dying act. There are many, many, many rock bands. This is kind of the cliche one that everybody's talking about, but I gotta give a shout out to Greta Van Fleet. I think they're fantastic, and they're getting dissed and they're getting hate from people saying that they're a copycat of Led Zeppelin, and I hear the vocal inflections and things like that, but overall they are their own thing. They have their own sound, and they have a sound that's really important for right now. I think that they have something really, really special, really important, and they're definitely making a buzz. I think I just read like 5 minutes ago that they played on Saturday Night Live. I may have to look that. I'm pretty sure they just played Saturday Night Live like yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I mean, and that's a big deal. I mean, you're talking about they put a lot of pop artists on there. They used to put a lot of rock artists, but now, I mean, the closest thing you're gonna get is I saw one with Chris Stapleton. He did Midnight Train to Memphis, and it was fantastic. It's pretty rocking, but Chris Stapleton is obviously a country star. That's where he's made his money. But yeah, to see Greta Van Fleet, well, I haven't seen the performance, so I don't want to lie to you, but I know that they played there. I'm going to watch it later. But the fact that there's a rock band in the forefront, rock music's not going anywhere. It's really not. It's way stronger than disco was. And I bet you could even find like a disco record somewhere deep in a pile. I don't know. I won't be looking for it, but I don't know. The Bee Gees are pretty legendary, but no, I don't think I'll be looking for it. But there's definitely not. There's an influx of rock right now. I think there's a lot of sameness, and I think that's one thing that's killing. And I think that's why Greta is kind of stepped out and above that, is because there's so much sameness right now. There's a ton of bands that sound exactly the same, that play in their low tune drop D, and whether they for you all not familiar, that's a guitar tuning, but it looks like Shaggy's watching right now, and he knows what I'm talking about. So, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, with the podcast thing, you kind of just go with it. So forgive me if I'm missing comments on here. I'm not trying to. If you message anything, I will definitely respond now. I promise. Sorry. I'm glad I got Sarah to tap me on the shoulder here. I've got my brightness down, and it's not very. I'm not really looking at it. Trying not to look at it too much. I'm just hoping my battery doesn't die in the middle of it. So I'm not sure what that's going to be. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Like I think that this the format of rock music has changed, but I don't think it's going anywhere. I think that there just needs to be a few more original acts that come out and do it. Like I was talking about with Dirty Streets, Tora Tora, that opened up for Tora Tora. They really have something that I think, and it's kind of in the Greta range, but he's got his own thing. He's got his own voice. And somebody came back. People are coming in and coming out. That's okay. Like I said, all this, some of this is going to be cut out. It's going to be shortened down, but we had to get out there. Had to start this up. So now I want to talk about some of the music that came out last year that I loved. To just put it examples. Now a lot of these, I don't want to call them nostalgia acts, because if you're making a new record, it's not nostalgia. You're making a new product. Paul McCartney came out with a brand new album last year called Egypt Station, and it was fantastic, and it was original, and I think it had a couple top 20 hits or something like that. But it's one that I definitely loved. I thought it had a very Beatles feel, which that may sound stupid, but because he was in the Beatles. But with Wings, I felt one thing, and when they were doing that, I felt like that was a more kind of like more rock and roll, more exploratory. I feel like this was some kind of fusion of that, and I guess just playing so many records, you kind of get into a habit of, not a habit, you figure yourself out, and you all those elements from the albums that they've come from, or that he's made, when you get to your 10th or 15th album like Paul McCartney has, you definitely start, you have a sound, but it's nice to see that at 70 odd years old, he can still make some original tunes that come out that I'm constantly rocking out. I'm drawing a blank right now. Like I said, I'm cold and caffeinated. Come On to Me, simple song, 3 chords, great vocal on it. It just kind of gets you up and dancing. Probably not what most metalheads or super hard rock fans would turn on, but I'm a huge Beatles fan. I always have. So when somebody brings something out like that, I like to make a big deal about it because there really is some fantastic stuff on there. There's some tongue-in-cheek jokes like "fuh you," through the song. He's saying, "I wanna fuh you." There's funny stuff on there. There's deep stuff. There's important things, despite repeated warnings. It's like a 9-minute song, somewhere in there. No, don't quote me exactly. 7 to 9 minutes long, and it's. It kind of has a lot of warnings about climate change and the way that we treat our environment. And hey, Jacqueline Williams, how are you? Just talking about a few albums that I really loved last year that came out, and I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of good music coming out this year. One for sure, Alter Bridge. Yes. Alter Bridge is coming out with a brand new album in 2019. I don't know when I have to ask my Alter Bridge library back here. When are they going in the studio in that?
They're going to the studio in March, according to
March.
Yes.
That's soon.
That's what the article said.
That's soon. And these guys can dish out an album in about 6 months, by the way, and it be fantastic. All right. You're sad. Well, don't be sad. You're talking on Drink Talk Rock. We're happy here. Hey, Sarah. She's saying hi to you.
Hi.
But they're going in the studio in March, and that usually they have an October release. So that's 7 months or so. They don't have a release date yet, by the way. They could make it in 30 days. I have no idea, but typically it's an October release. I think their first album was different, but yeah. So new music in 2019. Rock music. Still very prevalent, very much in the forefront. I'm even seeing like singing shows. I noticed just a few years ago that singing shows were just popping. I don't mean to be redundant, but popping these pop stars straight to the top. And if you were looking in the top 4, the top 5, it was very rare that you were going to find. Well, thank you for watching, Jacqueline. Thank you. But that's what I was saying. See, that's why I love the live feed, though. It's the first episode. You know, we're just rambling. We're just rambling. But I don't want anybody left out if they do comment something. I don't want to be a jerk. I definitely don't. Like I said, I ain't nobody. I hope you're doing good, Jacqueline. I'm sorry that you're sad, though. I haven't. No, I have not heard from your dad. Jacqueline Williams, friend of mine, is asking if I've heard from her dad. I have not. But going back to the singing. This is why we edit, because I think I get stammered. I get to stuttering. I'm gonna upload this though. You guys can watch the whole uncut version of this if you really want to. But I just wanted to talk to you directly. Like I said, I hope you forgive my stuttering and stammering. This is my first time kind of trying this, but no excuses. I've decided to come out with this show, and so no more excuses. Gotta start doing it. And if you tune in, great. And if you don't, that's fine too. Like I said, there'll be a shorter version of this Monday. But back to my point. A lot of singing shows used to really have only pop artists and country artists in their top 5s, top 10s. And I don't know how that correlates to actual music sales or anything like that. I don't know if they're rolling with the waves or if it's just voting luck, what the people want. But you stealing my pen.
Yes.
But in the last few ones that I have seen, I think rock artists more and more are getting, like with American Idol, with the last season of American Idol, Cade, I forgot his last name. Sorry, Cade. Like Cade's listening. Cade's not listening. But if Cade ever listens, sorry. All right, cool. I have Sarah, my wife. She is helping so much with this right now. I just want to say, and at some point we're gonna have her perform on one of the episodes. It might be this one. I don't know. No, she says no. It's not gonna be this one. Oh, But you guys gotta hear her. She's amazing. If you haven't heard her, she's amazing. She's gonna play some of her stuff like that. I have known Ringo for a long time. Sorry if this is messing up the audio part of the podcast, but I am responding when people talk. Jacqueline Williams asked how I know Ringo Jukes. I've known Ringo Jukes for a long time. We met. He showed up at a yard sale one day, and we found out that he was like this crazy, awesome, famous drummer of the Rock City Angels back in the day. And we just kind of hit it off, man. The guy's he's full of energy, and he's got great timing. He's a great drummer. He's really fantastic. I hope he's playing in a band somewhere right now, because he's really fantastic. Shout out to Ringo if you're listening to this. You're great, man, and we need to jam soon. But yeah, I've known him for a long time. He's really great. But going back, I'm trying to work on getting back to the point. I ramble. Everyone that knows me knows that I ramble. But I'm hoping maybe this show can fix that. Maybe this show can get me on track. So I'm trying to remember what I was talking about, even when I interrupt to answer questions and everything like that. He's crazy, all right. Yeah, he's crazy. He's great. Yes. Yeah. He's Ringo was the one that took me to see your dad play piano. It's fantastic. He's the best I've ever seen live. One of the best I've ever heard ever. The only one I could say would even compete would be Jerry Lee Lewis. And I don't know. I mean, I think your dad's got more energy. We're talking about Jason D. Williams. He's a great performer, great piano player. I hope one day that we can get him on here to talk because he has seen some stuff, I'm sure. He tears up Nashville. He tears up the world. The guy's great. He really is. Jason D. Williams. Look him up if you haven't heard of him. But back to rock music. In the shows now, rock artists are coming forward. I mean, people are voting for them. And again, I don't know how true that is. I don't know if all those votes are counted. I don't know any of that. But I do know that consistent years of, say, America's Got Talent, American Idol, The Voice, top 3 or 4, there's always a rocker there. There's always a guitar playing guy, which means people still love guitar solos. So that's a good thing. And what do I think of him? Well, that's what I was just talking about. He's great. Jason D. Williams is fantastic. He's really, really good. He plays piano, and I think he can do a handstand while he plays piano. I'm pretty sure. I saw his feet come off the ground a few times. So, yeah, pretty amazing guy. It's rare that you can find a musician that has that much energy. And I think I don't want to call him older because I don't want to insult. But he's not 25, and the guy still just rocks out. I mean, just goes for it. By the end of it, he's a sweaty mess. He's just playing and playing and playing and playing and playing. And he can sing. The guy can sing. He's really, really great. So, sorry, I'm getting commentary in from the sidelines. I think I'm being told to wrap it up. I think possibly. I'm not sure. No? Okay. Oh, okay. She's just getting the minute. Oh, thank you, because I don't have a timer on here.
Actually, it's on like half an hour now. 27 minutes.
You have the timer? You have a timer on right now? Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. Sarah, if you gotta leave the video, yeah, that's fine. If you gotta exit out of it. Okay. I'm gonna try to download it from on the computer.
Oh.
I'm gonna try. This technology has not been working for us today. I'm telling you what. I've been all the way from smiley to very, very angry with this stuff today. But this is the way that we found to do it. And like I said, I'm gonna be on here a while today because this is the only way that we can get video for the whole podcast. So our idea is that we're going to save the live video, download it onto the computer, and then try to sync the two together. So hopefully that works out to where there's a more condensed version of this later. Come to Florida and play. Yes, I love Florida. Oh, excuse me. Oh. So I'm really happy that we're doing this, and I'm pretty fascinated with the idea of having people play on here because we've got the equipment to do that. In fact, Sarah, if you do want to play a song on here, you're welcome to at any point in time. Yeah. Excuse me. Oh, I'm going to die on the air. What are you doing, boy? What are you doing? I am doing a podcast. Phone in. What is it? Damn phone died in the car. Oh, that's all right. I can't believe people are actually watching this. Thank you, guys. Thank you. This is Drink Talk Rock, Ryan. It is a podcast about music, particularly rock music, but we love country here, too. There's not any music that we don't like around here. So this show is supposed to be a venue for local artists to play their music on here, and maybe every once in a while we'll play one of ours. But we don't want it to be, all about us. We want to focus on rock music as kind of an exterior subject. And I like your little set. Thank you, Ryan. It's we have a drum mic. We have a microphone sitting in a drum mic with a pop filter on the front. But this is so you don't have to see my whole face, which I think everybody appreciates. So, But yeah, this is Drink Talk Rock, and on on the next episode, which will be Wednesday, we're gonna be drinking. Not too much though. Rock on, buddy. Rock on you. Hey, Ryan Lee. I want to put a shout out to Ryan Lee. Ryan Lee, don't go anywhere. I wish I could phone you in. We're gonna figure out a way to do that. We've got to have a phone line system. That's just how it goes. But for the first episode, we're trying to make it work. Ryan Lee is an amazing, amazing country artist. This guy bleeds country music. We used to call him, I hope he doesn't mind me shouting him out here. We used to call him the Karaoke King because you'd always see him down in Hardytown doing karaoke on Friday nights, and he would sing these legendary country songs. I'm talking everything you could imagine, everything from Willie Nelson to Tim McGraw. I mean, he would just kill it every time. And I don't know over the last yes, it's condenser mic. Over the last few years, he started to release online, and you go check him out. Go look at his page. Some original songs that he does, and he's got it set up real nice, and it sounds good. Well, I hate to cut it off too short. It says the battery is low, so I think we got about 3 more minutes on here. So since we've got such short amount of time, I want to thank everybody for listening. If you're out there listening post-recording, we really appreciate you clicking on it. If you like what you're hearing, or if you have any suggestions for what we need to do on here, we want to take every suggestion that you have. If you're a local business that wants to get a shout out, you can always message me on Facebook, or you can email me at semtex_r_us@yahoo.com. If you want a link to our music, you can always go to the Broken Rise Facebook page, where you can hear a few things that we've done. And like I said, check out Ryan Lee. We really want you to, and also who's on here, Levi Pike. Check out Levi Pike. He is a fantastic guitar player, and he makes some good productions. And we'll have a few shout outs later, but I don't want the phone to die while I'm on here. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching the first episode of Drink Talk Rock, and hopefully this will be one of many to come. So you guys keep rocking out there, okay?